Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it is Monday, President's Day, and this is the last day of Sonic's, President's Day weekend run. Mm-hmm. And Sonic is doing better than they expected. Sonic is going to do over $70 million.
Is that before today? I think that was before today, is it? Or
4-day run.
Yeah, so that would have been Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay, so not even counting President's Day.
Yeah, so we'll see here. They're going to update it. Paramount's family film Sonic the Hedgehog night over President's Day weekend with $70 million during its first 4 days in theaters, one of the best results for the holiday weekend. So it did better than Detective Pikachu. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about the smashing success of Sonic the Hedgehog. We're going to talk about how Paramount is actually coming out and saying it's because of the fans.
Yep.
And they need to listen to consumers.
Exactly.
This coming from the head of Paramount.
You know, this is like one of those, it's so obvious, you just want to say, duh, but there's now realizing the obvious. Like, water's wet.
It's like you guys are like 12 or 13 years too late, because I remember you guys doubling down on Transformers. Painfully. I remember that, but I digress. At least you're listening now. Better late than never. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the salt coming from people who are still making comparisons between Sonic the Hedgehog and Birds of Prey, and how Birds of Prey is not doing so hot, and all of that jazz. So before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're almost at 100,000 subs.
Yep.
We're only like 6,000 away.
I know, yeah.
It's crazy. So thank you for that, guys, very much. Sonic the Hedgehog dominates the box office with mighty $70 million debut. So Sonic earned $58 million in North America. This is just North America. Mm-hmm. Over the traditional weekend, and $100 million globally, supplanting Detective Pikachu for the biggest inaugural showing ever for a video game adaptation. The better than expected start is even more notable since movies based on video games tend to be rejected by moviegoers. That could have been a reality for Sonic if director Jeff Fowler had not gone back to the drawing board after immense internet backlash from fans over the first trailer.
It was bad. It was so bad.
They postponed it 3 months to give filmmakers enough time to redesign the character. That was smart. Now, this is what I love. It's about fucking time somebody in charge at Hollywood gets it through their heads as to what they need to do to fix things. The consumer always determines what is right and what is wrong. They made their voices clear and we listened.
Good. Said
Chris Aronson, Paramount's president of domestic distribution. This movie exceeded expectations. That's a testament to the reset and terrific performances by Jim Carrey and the entire cast.
Yep, and the people who, went and redid Sonic.
Yeah, exactly. Variety also has another article out, how internet backlash helped Sonic the Hedgehog avoid box office disaster. And they make the comparison between Cats and Sonic, and how when there was so much shade being thrown at Cats, maybe they should have postponed it.
Yeah, maybe.
And fixed it. Instead, they released it as is, and then they tried to patch it over the freaking weekend.
Yes, after it was released. Yeah.
So ridiculous. They would have had to pretty much scrap the entire movie at that point, because the whole thought process of sticking human faces on furries was
I think it was
weird.
just too far along at that point. I don't think Sonic was as far along, so it was easier to fix, kind of thing.
Yeah, so Cats lost $100 million theatrically. Sonic could have suffered the same fate, but rather than releasing the movie when it was initially slated to debut in November, Paramount delayed the film so Jeff Fowler could redesign the anime character. He didn't, actually. It was a comic book artist who did. But anyway, his creepy teeth initially made him look a little too human.
It was just creepy. I'm sorry. It was messed up. Yep,
it was an unusual move, but one that ultimately resulted in positive reviews and a 3-day opening weekend of $58 million. You know why? Why it's unusual? Because the studios and the publishers and the game developers always think they know best.
Right, and they don't listen. And in a new property, that's something that's brand new, you can make those decisions because it's brand new. But when you have an established fan base, you have to take it into consideration. And I know they don't want to hear that.
No.
They want to hear we can, do whatever the hell we want and you're supposed to just give us your money. But you don't. And a lot of consumers went because they listened. And a lot of people said, I wasn't going to go, but I went because they listened and I want to reward that behavior.
Again, this is coming from Chris Aronson, another quote of his. I can't remember another time there's been a reset like this, but it was incredibly smart of everyone involved to listen to the fans and give them what they want. For 4 or 5 years now, especially in the last 2 years since The Last Jedi, fans have been telling studios and comic book publishers and video game developers.
Goes back even to the Ghostbusters 2016 debacle.
I think that's really what started it. Like, hell no, this is not what we want. Had nothing to do with misogyny. It was the fact that they were going to reboot something that was beloved, and then they were going to rub people's faces in it. I don't know when this started exactly, when Hollywood thought they could just reboot an old franchise, give it a facelift, alienate the audience.
Gender swap everybody.
Gender swap everyone. I'm kind of
swap everyone.
Kind of worrying if it didn't go back to Battlestar Galactica, because that was one where they took, and it just had superficial similarities to the classic series, and they gender bent characters and all that, but it actually wound up being successful. But, again, Battlestar Galactica was never on par with, Star Wars or Star Trek or Ghostbusters in terms of, pop culture awareness. And, this has been the trend, though, the last 4 or 5 years. Take something, existing fan base, piss them off, cry about failure,
and then bully and blame it on something like, you're racist or sexist, you're a misogynist, or some load of crap-ist that they have to insult the fans with, saying that you didn't like it. So, yeah, there you go.
So here we have compare and contrast. Birds of Prey. Again, haven't seen the movie. Do have friends that saw it, said it was okay. But they made a lot of changes to the Birds of Prey, a lot of changes to the characters. Now, Harley Quinn was more or less intact, but the supporting cast, the Birds of Prey, were completely different from their comic book iterations. People had issues with it. They were told to shut the hell up. So fans rejected it. They didn't go see it. They withheld their money, and then they were attacked for not seeing it. And it still continues. And now we've got this unfair comparison between Birds of Prey and Sonic the Hedgehog, when the two movies aren't anything alike. They're not the same demographic or anything, but it is a good case study to see what happens when you actually listen to your fans, versus what happens when you alienate fans by changing characters and then continue to alienate them by shooting your mouth off and telling them you don't want them to come to your movie. So here we have, right after Sonic does his victory lap, we've got other things. Like, just imagine if Birds of Prey could have, succeeded like Joker. Why didn't it?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why it didn't, but they're going to blame it on sexism.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted that before the movie opened. Never mind that it was marketed poorly, and like you said, the characters, the supporting characters didn't look like the comic book versions themselves. People weren't familiar with them, and a lot of other issues, and plus it was rated hard R. Never mind any of that. Never mind. That has nothing to do with it. It's all because of sexism.
That's right. It's all sexism, and they talk about that in this article from Vox. We're gonna see lots and lots of articles like this. Now, it's interesting. Scott Mendelson, we said he was being awfully quiet about the Birds of Prey situation, the Sonic situation. He does do an article on Sonic the Hedgehog, but make sure that everybody knows it's because of online outrage.
But even if it is, so what? They made missteps. The fans and people that are fans of Sonic were all like, "What the hell is it? Burn it with fire!" And then they went and changed it, and then they're rewarded for their change for fixing an issue,
as they should be.
So how is this? The online outrage is partially thanks. I say it's more than partially thanks, because if they hadn't changed it, it would have been a disaster.
It would have been another Cats.
Yes,
it would have been another Cats for sure. And so
that's not a bad thing. I mean, online outrage is not a bad thing.
No, not always, because it leads to changes. Now, sometimes it's too late. Again, they kept pointing to the Rise of Skywalker, like, well, they tried to backpedal and please the fans, and look, it was a horrible movie. It's like, because the damage was terminal.
Yeah, people had it before that.
Yeah, you had already killed off the Star Wars fandom. A lot of the Star Wars fans walked away after Last Jedi, and the drama surrounding it.
Well, that's it. I think they could have salvaged it had I had Ryan Johnson call people man babies. You had you let the media, Lucasfilm employees, the media, you let them run amok and just trash people, because it wasn't just the vocal minority are all man babies, but basically what you said was, if you don't like this movie, you're just a bad person. And there were some people that were being, trollish, I am sure, but they were a very small, tiny percentage of the people who didn't like it. And you labeled everyone with that broad brush, and then you're like, why aren't they supporting us now? Because it was more than just a tiny bit of people that you just pissed off.
Yeah, it's crazy. So now I gotta wonder if some of these lessons, since it is Paramount we're talking about, if they're not going to apply some of these lessons maybe to Star Trek, because fans are having a lot of problems with Star Trek right
now. No, let's hope they learned their lesson, but I don't know.
I don't know. But Mendelsohn, now he was out there on the one thread we did a video on over the weekend, talking about how, Birds of Prey, it's being painted as a bigger flop than it actually was. Well, he's backpedaling now. Mm-hmm. He does a whole new article. Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey is neither a huge hit or a big flop.
So it's eh.
It's still underperformed. I mean, it's the same with The Rise of Skywalker. Like, yeah, The Rise of Skywalker barely broke $1 billion, but for the last Star Wars movie in the Skywalker saga, it should have been a $2 billion movie.
Right. It's all relative.
So he had to go write an apology article because he was one of the ones out there saying it was a flop, it was underperforming, because people were having a fit on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Scott, that's going to bite you in the ass someday because they're going to expect apologies for every movie now.
Yeah, and so you're not allowed to have an opinion on anything anymore, just so you know.
And he's one of the dudes that was saying it. No, despite what some dudes on the internet might tell you, the underwhelming performance of Harley Quinn Birds of Prey is not an example of Hollywood taking it on the chin for offering gender parity and on-screen diversity, an alleged trend that is often referred to as get woke, go broke.
Well, beyond that, again, insulting women because some dudes, again, anybody who doesn't like it or says that they, has issues with it or anything else has to be male. Again, you just completely marginalized women who are already marginalized. Good job.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Keep marginalizing women more there, Scott. Way to go. I didn't see it. I have not said it was bad. I have not said it was good. I have said repeatedly, I haven't seen it. It's not my kind of movie. But a lot of people said it's good. I am not going to see it.
I'll catch it on digital.
I'm not even going to watch it on digital because it's not my kind of movie. Has nothing to do with her being a woman. It's just not my kind of movie.
Again, if it had been a PG-13 Harley Quinn movie, I would have taken our daughter to go see it. Mm-hmm. She loves Harley Quinn, but I can't take her to she's 12. She can't
go see this.
Can't take her to a hard R movie.
No.
It's not going to happen. So, there were a lot of mistakes. Mistakes were made. And now it's a blame game, but whatever. Hey, Sonic's doing pretty good. And I think we're going to see a turning point, with some of these studios, because now that they've gotten a taste of financial success for actually listening to the fans, there's more where that came from. So maybe now if you're gonna make a move, like I was worried about My Hero Academia movie and the Akira movie, and now I'm like, well, now that they look at this, they might be like, yeah, we better make sure we get this right.
Yeah, don't ruin it.
So anything else we want to add to this one?
Nope, nothing I can think of.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Thinking about printing your own comic books, graphic novel, or manga? We recommend our friends over at PrintNinja. We've been using PrintNinja as long as they've been printing comics, and both the quality and price is excellent. Mention Clownfish TV and get an additional 5% overrun of your book order quantity printed for free. For free! That's free books, people. Just mention this offer on the phone or in the additional information box on the quote request form. That's printninja.com or click on the link in the description below. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.